right, so we're going to look at our notes for Chapter 4, Lesson 1, and make sure you have the right answers as you follow along the lesson. So hopefully you've already watched the video from Chapter 4, Lesson 1, the lecture, and the PowerPoint. So let's look at this. List the items, ways in which early civilizations were alike. So you should have gotten social classes, specialized work, and governments. That's how early civilizations were alike. Okay? And let me see if I can zoom in on this just a little bit. All right. Now then, what does Mesopotamia mean? It means the land between the rivers. Okay? Which rivers is the land between? The Tigris and the Euphrates. What is the Fertile Crescent? A curved strip of farmland from the Mediterranean to the Persian Gulf. Okay, and there is the entire answer. Okay, number 5. Why are rivers good? Well, let's look at this. Farmers used the water to water their fields. Flooded rivers were filled with silt. That's why they're good. Okay, so why are the rivers bad? Rivers were low, and the farmers did not have enough water for their crops in the fall, and floods were unpredictable, and it would sweep away livestock and their crops and their homes. So how did taming the river change life? Well, they dug canals that let water flow from the water source, so that means from the river. This is called irrigation. Farmers could grow a surplus of food now. That was because of taming the river, because they built irrigation canals. Name important cities of Sumer. So Ur, Yerk, and Eridu. Okay. Question number 8. What is a city-state? So a city-state has its own government, and it's not part of a larger government. Population was around in Sumer 5,000 to 20,000 people. All right. B, what was significant about the wall? Cities were protected by a large wall that was made from mud and crushed reeds. They made brick to surround the wall to protect the people and the palace. Independence. C, they learned how to craft and farm. So they were artisans, they had specialized jobs, and that was their independence. They didn't all have the same job. War, they fought to win glory and territory. They fought with other city-states to gain glory and territory. And trade, they traded crops and crafts for wheat, barley, timber, and minerals. Okay, so describe the gods of Sumeria. Of the Sumerians, excuse me. So they honored any god that helped their activity. So they had different gods for different things, and they honored any god that helped that activity that they were doing, whether that was brick making, whether that was farming. They honored that specific god. Okay. Describe a ziggurat. It's a worship center. It's a pyramid-shaped structure located in the city. Okay, let me adjust my paper really quickly. So it says, tell about the kings of Sumer. And they believed that they made their crops grow. Their kings believed that. List the social groups. So kings, priests, warriors, and government officials were part of the upper class. Merchants, fishers, and artisans, that was the largest group of people, and they were part of the middle class. Enslaved people were part of the lower class, okay? Those were the people that they had enslaved from wars. All right, so it says here, describe the family and the role of men and women in Sumerian society. So men were the head of the home, and they went to school, and they trained for a specific job, such as metalworking, weaving, farming. Women had few civil rights. They owned business. Some of them owned businesses, and they cared for their children. And then as their children got older, they cared for their parents. So tell about the farmers of Sumer. Well, farmers had a plot of land located around a city-state, and it had waterways that they could use that flowed through their farms to water their crops. What were the crops of Sumer? Wheat, barley, dates. Trading. They lived in areas that encouraged trade, and when they didn't have goods they needed, they would trade. They traded Sumerian. The Sumerians traded for different metals. They were skilled metal workers, and they would trade for other metals, such as I think it was. Let's see. The book tells us what it was. It was Let me see. Lapis lazuli, and I think it was obsidian they would trade for. Let's see. To make different tools from metals. What does the word cuneiform mean, and what is it? So Sumerians created this as the oldest form of writing called cuneiform, made up of about 1,200 different characters, and this was written by cutting wedge-shaped marks into the damp clay with a sharp reed. Cuneiform actually means wedge. So at any point in this, you are more than welcome to pause and write down any notes you may have missed or add notes to yours. And mine's very colorful so that you can see everything. But like I said, you can pause it anywhere you need to in order to get the notes that you need. Okay, and I'm going to pull it over here.